Yung Potion Project is the chosen shelter of Indian Cares. And to formally open, we'd like to call Miss Claire Turalba for some opening message.
Yes, good morning. Good noon. Actually, thank you for coming and joining us today. For us, it's a very special occasion, not only that last 26th was the International Dog Day, World Dog Day, but also because of our Indian Cares. We really support part of our policy to contribute to the community where our Indian is operating. So like for example, we produce better food, and for us, is we want to make sure that they're able to think forward and share what we do in terms of like giving nutrition, but also at the same time, being able to support like Washington Project in building the rehabilitating the rescue of patients. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you, Claire. And everyone like also call Miss Malu Perez. Parang nag-double ka ma. Sound system, sila natin. I would like to ask the media to listen to the story kay Miss Malu kasi ito basically the inspiration behind Potion Project, and one of the reasons kung ba't talaga siya napili to be touched by Indian Cares for the donation, mainly because of yung promotion nila ng animal welfare. And for us to have a better idea what Potion Project is all about, Miss Balu Perez of Potion Project, can I say medyo little woman but with a very big heart when it comes to the safety of the animals. So let's all give her a big warm welcome.
Thank you very much and good morning. So yeah, my name is Malu. I'm with Buster and Donita, and I am the founder of Potion Project. But first, allow me to thank all of you for being here. I know you all have your own respective schedules, but you made time today. Thank you, Sir Ray, Miss Claire, Sir Gideon, who's not here, and everyone else who reached out to us, for making this one possible. Just a little background about Potion Project. Potion Project is a non-profit org that I started in Bacolod, October of 2018, because I saw a Facebook post about 50 dogs on death row, not even for euthanasia, but for gunshot. And unfortunately, that is legal in the Philippines because that is one of the cheapest ways to eliminate, no matter how harsh that may sound. It's one of the cheapest ways to eliminate dogs and cows. The Philippines is home to at least 13 million stray animals. We don't even know if we're dealing with more right now because there are a lot of non-regulated breeders in the country. A lot of Filipinos still don't understand that, pet parenting is a lifetime commitment and it's not just a Christmas thing or it's not just a puppy thing. We have a number of shelters in the Philippines, but it's still not enough. Honestly, even if there were 100 more Potion Projects in the Philippines, it's not enough to take out all of the strays in the streets because again, more than 13 million stray animals. So from that, incident in October of 2018 when I saw the post of dogs on death row, like any regular dog lover, I just shared the post. 50 dogs is 50 dogs. What are you gonna do with them? But our family friend Manang Jen, who I was supposed to partner with for an Airbnb business at the farm where the first shelter was built, also saw the post. And then she called me and asked me, like, Mas, did you see about the dogs on death row? Are you willing to save them? Like, we have more than enough space. I just couldn't save them, but I know you're a dog lover. Maybe you want to save them. So without any experience and without having second thoughts, like in a few seconds, I said yes. Without knowing what to do with them, I just really wanted to save those dogs. So there was nothing in mind. I just wanted to take the dogs out from the pound. I've never been to a pound prior to that. So you could imagine how traumatic the experience was for me as a dog lover. You step inside a pound, there were 10 kennels, 2 by 3 toddlers, small, not even big, it's super small. And around 7, 8 dogs were cramped in every kennel. Some of them don't even have the energy to get up anymore because most of the dogs in the pounds in the Philippines don't have food to eat. I mean, animal welfare is the least priority. A lot of mayors don't even know they have pounds in their cities, so they don't allocate a budget for that. So it was so traumatic. And once you go to the pound, I tell you, your life is doomed. I mean, my life was changed ever since I stepped foot in the pound. I mean, once you go eye to eye with a dog there, you couldn't leave without doing anything. So, I remember there was one dog who was really about to die because nag-strangle na siya dun sa ginawang makeshift na snare. Because they were traumatized. I mean, the manner of catching them from the streets is inhumane. Most of the people working in the pound were not even trained to catch them humanely. So, of course, traumatized na sila. Inisip ng mga aso, nilalabas sila sa kennels, makakatay na sila. I mean, they probably were thinking the worst is gonna happen after they were taken out. So it was very, very traumatic for me that I couldn't even look at how they were taking the dogs out from the kennels. I remember trying to use my phone even without doing anything, just to distract myself. I was standing next to the hole where they were supposed to be buried. And it was so traumatic. And then after that incident, it really dawned to me that this should not end here. I mean, even if we save the dogs here, next week there's going to be another batch. And then when that post went viral, I got so many messages from people all over the Philippines telling me, ay, dito din po sa amin. People were starting to send me photos and videos of super malnourished dog in pounds. I was getting videos of mga bumok ng mga dogs in other barangay pounds. And that was just when I realized how awful the reality of animal welfare and strays here in the country is. That was really kind of what motivated me to start an organization. There was no plan to start an organization. There was no plan to put up a permanent shelter. I just wanted to save those dogs and find homes for them. And that was when I realized it's so hard to find people to adopt these dogs. So, all of those realizations really were what encouraged me to start the organization. I wanted to get the word out. I wanted to use social media as a way to let people know what's going on because these animals are voiceless. They would never make it to social media. They could never speak up for themselves. I mean, it's not wrong to help people, but there are already way too many organizations helping humans, and humans always have a choice. I mean, these animals, they're just gonna get whatever help you're gonna give them. If you want to control the population and offer scale, you're gonna say no. So, from that shelter in Bacolod in 2018, I started the Bulacan shelter July of 2019 because I went here in Manila to process the registration of caution, and we kind of had the following already. When people saw I was here, they reported to me in Muntinlupa Pound. I went there to see it for myself, and just like any of my pound encounters, I never leave the pound without saving the dogs. So we were able to find a way to save those dogs from Muntinlupa Pound. It went viral again. Somebody tagged me about the dogs at the Bulacan Pound, more than 100 dogs on death row. I went to the pound to see for myself what's going on, but it's always so hard to leave the pound without doing anything for them. I posted on social media. I was asking people to go to the pound and adopt the dogs, but there were very, very few who were willing to adopt it. And as you know, in pounds, meron din silang time lang. If they're not rescued or adopted within 3 days or 2 weeks the max, if syempre may budget yung pound, they're going to be killed. And like I mentioned, it's not even euthanasia in most pounds in the Philippines because they don't have a budget. So it's by gunshot, some pounds by tambucho, many pounds, dogs are starved to death. So they get to the point where they eat each other because they just don't have food to eat. So it was horrible. And it's really that reality that really makes me want to do more for them because if you don't go to the pound, if you don't see these stories, you'll never know that this is what's happening in the Philippines. And there are a lot of dog lovers in the Philippines. It's just that they don't know this is what's happening. It's just that they don't know there are more than 10 million strays. That's why people continue to buy. People don't go to shelters, that's why they never experience the love the rescues bring, so they choose to buy. What they don't know is the rescues are the most grateful creatures. So again, these are my motivations why we promote me forward. So since October of 2018, we've already rescued more than 2,000 dogs and cats. We don't get any government or corporate funding. It's all through crowdfunding. We have a sponsorship program where people can sponsor a rescue for 1,000 pesos per month. But you can imagine how hard we work to continuously sustain the needs of our rescues. We've rehomed over 1,000. And even if that sounds like a good number, again, we're dealing with more than 10 million. So it feels like a death only, honestly. So this is why we continuously use our platform to raise awareness because we want more malugs, we want more portion projects in the Philippines so these animals can get the help that they need. We want the government to step up. We want more companies to consider animal welfare for CSR programs. We've sent 4 to Canada already. We have an owl rescues one all over Europe. We have rescues who live better lives than us right now. And, being an animal welfare dogs is so exhausting in all aspects. Like, emotionally, physically, mentally, financially, you can imagine we spend at least 500,000 for their food alone every month. This doesn't include the vet bills. We're a volunteer-based organization. The only paid people in the organization are the caretakers because of course they have family to feed as well. And they do the job 24/7. But it is a lot of work. And that's why we're so grateful for opportunities like this. When companies notice our organization, we're always grateful because we're here not just for caution projects rescues, we're here for animal welfare in general. Whatever donations we receive, we share it with other shelters. We don't get, the mileage. We share it with other stray feeders and rescuers because I know how it feels to have nothing to feed your rescues. Like, it's always so, depressing. And you always get so anxious when you sleep at night and thinking, may pagkain ko ba sila tomorrow? So that's why, again, I was so grateful when I got an email that ADM actually chose us as their chosen organization. We're so grateful, especially because we already have a number of paraplegic rescues. Every day, there are a lot of dogs who are victims of hit and runs. So many dogs who are victims of cruelty. And I cannot in my heart euthanize a dog just because they're hard to deal with. If you go to abroad, if it's a paraplegic dog, most of them will just euthanize them. Because they always think, dapat kayo kagastos ng malaki, kahit na ba yung itulog sa iba. But one dog is still one life. One cat is still one life. I cannot, if you see a dog fighting and eating, I cannot in my heart euthanize. That's why we have a number of paraplegic dogs. And it's always hard for us because we don't have enough manpower. I mean, it's already overwhelming with more than 500 rescues. Imagine having to take care of one paraplegic dog who cannot pee or poop on their own. Like, some you have to help them by pressing the bladder. Most of the paraplegic dogs, you have to do wound dressing 2 times, 3 times a day. You have to help them, get them up so they can pee and poop. You clean them because they get bed sores. You have to do physiotherapy. You have to do a lot of work for them. But people choose to do that because they're fighting. You had paraplegic dogs with us for more than a year and people would say, oh, patay na dapat yan when you rescue them. So, these rescues have so much to teach us. And, their resilience, their gratitude, their love, talaga is like no other. That's why we do what we do. So, currently we shelter more than 500 rescues, a little over 600 in both of our shelters. One shelter is here, the one that we recently visited. But it is just a rented space. So you can imagine, like, all of the anxiety I deal with every day because we also think, like, you need to find land for it, like a permanent land for them, and it's no joke to move hundreds of rescues. But the one that we have in Bacolod, the permanent sanctuary Balay portion in Bacolod, is the land that we finally acquired January of last year. It is a home to more than 200, at least 300 rescues as well. We live the best life ever. Like, we do everything that we can to provide the best life for them. All of our rescues are spayed, neutered, vaccinated. All of them have names. They all have stories to tell, but all of them have names. Like, it is really my rule of thumb whenever we rescue, like, give them a name. We don't even know. I mean, we've had a lot of times when we would rescue a dog or a cat, and then, like, the moment we rescue them, they die. You don't understand why, but sometimes all of them just need the chance to be rescued. So that's why it's always important for me to give them a name. At least even if they die with dignity or they die with a name. So we are always overwhelmed every time we see more people step up for animal welfare. I mean, before, animal welfare is never heard of. I mean, malls don't even welcome animals. So we see a lot of establishments right now welcoming not just dogs and cats with breed. You see aspens and puspins being brought to the mall. You see aspens being bought fancy stuff. But this is also my appeal to people who would do that. These dogs don't care about the brand. Instead of buying them fancy stuff, you donate to animal shelters. We help feed the stray, help fund the spay and neuter drive because again, the government doesn't really have a budget for it. And the only humane way to address the overpopulation problem is through spay and neuter. There is no way we could impound and kill and adopt out all of the strays in the Philippines. But we have to start something, and this is really to control the population through spay and neuter. You know, a female dog can get pregnant twice a year. A female cat can get pregnant 3 times, 4 times a year. So even if we rescue 10,000 in 1 year, there are more unwanted litters being born every day. So we have to be a part of the solution by promoting spay and neuter. We have to promote adoption. Every time you buy from a breeder, you take away the chance of a stray and a rescue to be adopted. So this is really what Motion Project is all about. We're here to be the voice for them. We're here to inspire more people to step up. We cannot do this on our own. But we are able to inspire one person at a time, one organization at a time, one company at a time. We'll get there. I mean, the population of stray animals is not even 10% of the population of the whole country. So if only 10% of Filipinos will adopt a stray, almost all of the strays in the streets will have a home already. But we're still far from there because again, iba pa kasi yung level of thinking ng mga Filipinos in terms of pet parenting. So many of them get dogs and think of them as pantay lang. So many of them buy expensive dogs, but they cage them or they leash them or rescue in the shelter, live better lives than these dogs who are very expensive. So we're here because we want to show people this is the life that they're supposed to live. Whenever you rescue an animal, whenever you adopt an animal, it's not just their life that you change. My life has been changed by these animals in ways I can never explain. Like you always become a better version of yourself because of these animals. They're so grateful and they're very, very resilient. I started feeding strays during the pandemic and what was supposed to be like a 2-week program turned out to be a ministry. So we feed strays every day. And we're very happy because we've inspired so many people to feed strays in their areas. And we get random messages, videos, photos from people I don't know, telling me they have started to feed strays because they were inspired by Motion Project, and in turn, many animals are getting the help that they need. So we really just want to live by example. We're not perfect, but we do what we can for them. That's why our shelters are open to the public because I tell everyone, well, while I appreciate the people telling me that they get inspired by the work that I do, no one else can speak better than them. I mean, you go to the shelter and you experience the love they give. I don't have to talk about it anymore. So we're so grateful. Super thank you for this opportunity that you gave us. Thank you for your generous donation. Thank you for partnering with us and thank you for giving us the chance to talk about these animals and to talk on behalf of them because they can never speak up. So again, thank you so much on behalf of our rescues, on behalf of the whole team, and on behalf of Motion Project. Thank you so much for giving them a third chance.